Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry for the slight delay. I was just I had another class, so I was busy there, so that got slightly delayed. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, but we'll be starting the class now without any further delay. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. One second, guys. Okay, take it. Sorry about the delay. Sorry. Okay, because my last class got stretched, and as a result of that, the other things got slightly delayed. But yeah, anyway, I'll make up for it by stretching the present class. Okay, anyway, we have our agenda that we have to cover all the time. Okay, take care, Vijayalakshmi. I'll take care of that. Just give me a second, guys, as I set up my device, and then we'll be ready to start with the class. One second. Okay. One second, guys. This is taking longer than usual. The hell. Okay, take care. Pritish, you want to play Kahoot again today? We played one yesterday, right? I'm not sure whether we should play one again. Maybe next week. Once every week is fine here. I think because you guys are not kids, man, that I should entertain you guys every day. I think once every week is fine. Keep the competitive juices flowing. Okay, now let me just quickly rip through your chats. Okay, cheating here, Pritish, not in my hand, beta, that the count got stuck yesterday. Okay, Vadiraj, Anand, Pranav, Kishore, Pritish, Bhumika, Nirja, Baswaraj, Manisha, Saubhagya, Abhishek, Naren, Harish, Kritika, Ashwin, Sanjana, Lasya, Soumya, Prajwal, Sakshi, Abhishek, Vijesh, Bhumika, Aditya, Dhanush, Rifa, Sushmita, Hina, Anil, okay, Chaitra, Khushi, Darshan, Sanchita, Ruchi, Sanjana, Suraj, Sanjana again, okay, Athar, Khushi, Sonia, Sushma, Vijay Kumar, Pizza, Tausif, Vijay Kumar again, Chetan, Dhanush, Karthik, Vijay Lakshmi, Samruddhi, Shreya, Meghna, Chaitra, Varsha, Anushri, Suhas, Vidyashri, Dhanashwari, Ratay, and Rajesh. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Great to see you guys. Okay. So anything that you guys would like to share? Otherwise, I'm ready to start with the class. Anything that you guys might have on your mind? Anything that you guys would like to share? Again, friendly reminder that this Sunday you guys have test, okay, of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. We have already done the problem session of that. 90 questions, 360 marks. I want you guys to do well. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that was good morning, Kirtan. Yes, Kishore. I came long back, man. It's been more than a month since I've been Hooghly. Okay. So Sunday, okay, the timing of the test and where it would be taking place would be told to you in the group. So wait for further instructions. If you need any help, if you need any worksheets, you need questions, you drop me a message. I will respond to it. Just don't call me. Okay, just don't call me. Okay. Good morning, Shreya. Bhumika, just check your internet connection once because other people are not reporting this issue. No, Karthik. Karthik, were you not there in the yesterday's session of coronavirus that I conducted? I mentioned how you can get it. Okay, at least I have not read coronavirus being transferred by tears. So yeah. Okay, start करें फिर चलो यार. Okay. So human health and diseases. Today is lecture number 5. Dhanush, it's there on the group, beta. Dhanush, it's there on the group. Okay. So human health and disease, lecture number 5. We are already done with 4 lectures in this class. Okay. Okay. So let's just do a quick recap of what we did in yesterday's class. So in yesterday's class, what we did was, okay. So in yesterday's class, we did your helminthic diseases. Okay. We did helminthic diseases. Okay, can anybody tell me what are the 2 helminthic diseases that we covered? And we did a fungal disease. And we did a fungal disease. We did a fungal disease. Can anybody tell me what were the 2 helminthic disease that we covered in the last class? So the 2 helminthic disease that we covered in the last class were ascariasis and your filariasis. 2 very fascinating diseases. Okay, so ascariasis ends up clogging your intestine if you let it grow, and I showed you the cutout of the intestine also. What does it look like? Okay, the worms, the intestine was filled with worms. And filariasis is also known as elephantiasis because your legs resemble the uh, legs of an elephant, right? And in fungal disease, the one that we talked about was ringworm. The one that we talked about was your ringworm. Okay. So I also told you why it is called ringworm, right? Because in the previous time, they used to believe that inside the rings, worms used to live. That is why they used to call it ringworm. Okay. And then we did a special session on coronavirus also, right? Or COVID-19, if you are talking about the disease, right? So that is what we did in yesterday's class, right? So I told you that make sure that at least you remember the pathogen of coronavirus, because as I said a couple of years ago in AIMS exam, they asked the pathogen, they didn't ask the pathogen of Ebola, but they did ask a question that was indirectly based on Ebola, despite the fact that Ebola is not at all mentioned in your textbook. Okay. Yes, toss is SARS-CoV-2. Sure. Okay. So again, let's start with a couple of revision questions and then we'll see what is there on the agenda today. So the first question is on your screen. So this question was asked in AIPMT 2015. So AIPMT is the precursor of NEET. So back when I was in 12th standard, we did not have NEET. We had AIPMT. AIPMT had tiers. Okay, level 1 and level 2. You have to clear both the levels if you want to become a doctor. Now it's slightly easier. So this was asked in AIPMT 2015. Which of the following diseases caused by protozoa? Okay, now some of you will look at the question and some of you will now granted the answer of this question, because if you remember my classes very clearly, okay, the answer of this question is something that I've not taught in the class. But if you are very careful and if you are aware, I think you guys should be able to answer the question. Okay. Which of the following disease is caused by a protozoan? Which of the following disease is caused by a protozoan? Okay. Now the answer to this question, is something that I've not taught in the class. But if you are very, very careful and slightly smart, you should be able to answer this. The poll is live on your screen. Okay. I will give you as 10 more seconds and then I'll wrap up the poll. Okay. Okay. Okay, 5 seconds, then I'll be wrapping up the poll, guys. Okay, 5 seconds, then I'll be wrapping up the poll. Okay. Okay, so yeah, 3, 2, 1, and let's wrap it up. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So according to you guys, what 33% of you think that A is the correct option, 33% of you think B is the correct option, 20% think C is the correct option, and 15% think D is the correct option. Yeah. Yes, Athar. Notes, all the notes are uploaded in the drive. You can go through the notes. They are there in the drive. Okay, they go better. Now, if you read the question carefully, we know for short influenza is caused by a virus, right? This is something I've mentioned also. Influenza in short form is also known as flu, and that is caused by a virus. And what is syphilis caused by? What is syphilis caused by? Who will tell me what is syphilis caused by? What is syphilis caused by? What is syphilis caused by? So syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum. What is Treponema pallidum? As you guys are mentioning, what is Treponema pallidum? What is that? What is that? That is a bacteria. So this is a bacterial disease. Chalo. Now we are left with two. That is babesiosis and your blastomycosis. Now, if you look at the option C very carefully, you will see something known as myco in this option. What does myco stand for? What does myco stand for? What does myco stand for? So myco stands for what? We all know, we have studied this before. Myco stands for what? Myco stands for fungus. So what option are you left with? The option that you're left with is babesiosis. So that is how you can do this question, despite the fact that two of those diseases that have been mentioned in the option are not given in your textbook. All you need to do is be a bit smart. Okay, now you can say that this question is from the outside the textbook, but two of those diseases have been mentioned in the class. The third option can be figured out if you read the question very carefully. So myco means fungal. That means this is a fungal disease. So that means the one that you're left with is babesiosis. Okay. Up now, let me just tell you what is. So you guys know what is influenza. You guys know what is syphilis. We have covered them previously. So what is babesiosis? So babesiosis is something. It is similar to malaria. Okay. That is, there's a parasite known as Babesia, which infects your red blood cells. And the symptoms are kind of similar. The symptoms are kind of similar, okay, to the symptoms of malaria. Okay, not as severe, but similar. Okay, your red blood cells are infected by your parasite Babesia, and you get the parasite Babesia by tick bite. By what? You get it by tick bite. So your ticks carry your Babesia, and when the ticks bite you, okay, you end up with Babesia. Okay, so I hope all of you know what are ticks. Right? I don't have to explain that. So ticks are small insects. Ticks are small insects. Okay, and you usually find them on animals. Okay, so ticks are small insects. So they are responsible for transferring your Babesia parasite. Now, what is blastomycosis? So blastomycosis is your fungal disease of the lungs. So what happens is you inhale those fungal spores, and then they go to your lungs, and then you will have trouble breathing. You might have a fever, and you will have similar symptoms of a disease of a respiratory tract. So that is what your blastomycosis is. Okay, one more question, then we'll start with the class. Okay, so the question is on your screen. The sporozoites that cause infection when a female Anopheles mosquito bites a human being are formed in. So if you guys remember, in yesterday's class, I mentioned that sporozoites are the infectious form. Okay, that is the parasite that enters our body and is responsible for causing malaria. So the question that I'm asking is, where are these sporozoites formed? So let's have a quick poll, and then let's see. Okay. Okay, so the poll is now live on the screen. You can get your votes in. Okay. Okay, 40% of you have voted so far. 15 seconds. I think 15 seconds would be enough for you guys to get your votes in, because you either know this or you do not know this. And if you have listened to the lecture very carefully in yesterday's class, then you should be able to answer this question very smoothly. Okay. So 10 more seconds, then I'll be closing the poll. Better 10 more seconds, and I'll be closing the poll. Okay. 5 seconds. So I'll close the poll then. 5 seconds. You guys have 5 seconds on your hand. Okay. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, and let's stop. Okay. So let's share the results. So 38% of you went with A, 36% of you have gone with C, 18% of you have gone with B, and 9%, that is only 13 of you have gone with D. And the correct answer here is the option that the least number of people voted for, that is gut of mosquito. Dekho, sporozoites enter our body. That means sporozoites are not being formed in our body because we are getting it from the mosquito. So that automatically eliminates these two options. In these two options, there was formation of merozoites. Shows that you guys are not paying close attention to what I'm saying. Okay, just because they sound similar does not mean that they are exactly the same. Merozoites are produced by asexual reproduction, first in your hepatocytes, that is your liver cell, and then in your RBCs, right? And then in your RBCs. Okay. Now, if you remember the diagram that I showed you guys yesterday, if you guys go through the textbook diagram also given, okay, you will see that the fertilization takes place in the gut. This is something I mentioned. The development takes place in the gut. Then once they mature, they escape from the gut and migrate to the salivary gland. And then when the mosquito bites us, then the sporozoites enter. Yes, ठीक है, चलो, RBC of mosquito है बेटा, but First, answer this question for me. Okay. Do mosquitoes have RBCs? Uday, so can anybody tell me, do mosquitoes have RBCs? Do mosquitoes have RBCs? Do mosquitoes have red blood cells? Do mosquitoes have red blood cells? Do mosquitoes have red blood cells? What do you guys think? Okay, so that answers your, that automatically answers your question why option B is not the case. Now, option A is definitely not the case, because in liver of the human, there's formation of merozoites. Okay, got it, yeah, got it. But here, Dhanush, we are talking about RBCs of the mosquito, not RBCs of the human. And in RBCs of the human, you see formation of merozoites, just like you see in your hepatic cells, just like you see in the hepatic cells. Then what happens is, when a fresh mosquito comes and bites an infected person, she picks up the gametes from that person, and then the fertilization of the gamete takes place in the gut. If you have time on your hand, go back and look at the slides, go back and read through your textbook. It's clearly written in your textbook diagram. Okay, if you bother to go through the textbook diagram, it's clearly written there that fertilization and development takes place in the mosquito's gut. You move the diagram up a bit and it says that mature infective stage sporozoites escape from the gut. So if they're matured while they're escaping from the gut, what does that mean? Where did the formation take place? In the gut. In the salivary gland, they're stored, so that when the mosquito goes to bite a fresh non-infected person, the plasmodium gets transferred to that person. Because it's very important to listen to the class very carefully. Okay, so those were your 2 revision questions to start the class with. So what is our agenda today? So what we are going to do today we are going to start with immunity. We are done with all the diseases. Today we are going to start with immunity. The chart of the rest of the diseases, which I cannot cover because there are hundreds of diseases, but you guys just need to remember their causative organisms, will be uploaded soon. I'm still working on it. I'm figuring out which disease I should include and which I should not. Okay, because if I include too many diseases, you will not remember the important ones. If I just put too few of a disease, then some of them might be left out. So it will take me maybe a couple of days to make that entire chart, and then I will either tell it in the class or I'll upload it directly in the drive. You can download it from there. So our today's agenda is immunity. What is immunity? What are the different types of immunity? And then in those categories of immunity, what are the subcategories? Okay, so that is what we are going to start the class off with. Okay, do you want to go right now, or should I start the class? 1 second, guys. Yeah, you can take it. So as I said, today what we'll be doing is, today we'll be doing immunity, and we'll be going slightly, we always go slightly beyond the textbook, but I'll be taking it 1 step further. Okay, because I did one of my internships under an immunology professor. So this was at the end of first year. So at the end of my first year in ICER, I did an internship in immunology. Okay, and obviously the internship that I did was much more advanced and something that I cannot teach, but I would still like to take it 1 step further. Okay, I'll tell you what part are necessary for NEET and what are not. You can choose to skip those parts which you feel are not necessary. Okay, thank you very much, Hina. Okay, so yeah, and it's very important to understand immunity, because if you look at previous year questions, actually NEET and AIIMS in general prefer to give questions more from the immunity part than from the disease part. I'm not saying there are no questions from the disease part, but if you wait out, okay, people might think that since the name of the chapter is human and the diseases, you'll get a lot of questions from diseases part, right? That what is the causative organism, what are the symptoms and all that stuff. But actually they ask a lot of questions from immunity, right? So once you learn that there are different types of immunity and what role they play in our body, so then they will change the question slightly, and they will give you a lot of questions. And then once you understand immunity very well, only then you will be able to understand AIDS, okay, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you have asked questions to me previously also when I was doing reproductive health and in this chapter also. So once we are done with immunity, then we'll be covering AIDS, then we'll be covering non-infectious diseases like cancer and other stuff. Okay, where did I do my internship? That was an in-house internship. I did it in the college itself. Okay, it was a summer internship for 2 months. I did it in the college itself. Okay, I went for internship outside next year. In first year, you cannot apply for internship outside. because you rarely get selected. You can actually, but the chances of selection are very low unless your profile is super awesome. Okay. Okay, chalo start kare fir. Okay, so let's start with the class then. So let's start with your immunity. What exactly is immunity? Okay, so we know that every day, we come across a lot of pathogens, or I shouldn't say pathogens, living organisms in general. A lot of them are multicellular organisms that you can see, right? But there are more unicellular organisms on this planet than there are multicellular organisms, and you're constantly surrounded by them. No matter how hygienic your surroundings are, you are surrounded by them, but you do not fall sick every day, right? Despite the fact that you're surrounded by thousands of unicellular organisms around you, because for your body, anything that is not part of your body is an enemy, right? So even right now on this laptop, there are like thousands, probably millions of germs, right? But I'm not falling sick. I'm using my laptop every day. There's a reason for that, right? Because my body has developed a mechanism which ensures that, most of the microorganisms out there cannot make me sick. Obviously, there is a certain subset that can, but most of them cannot. And that system of our body is known as immune system. That system of our body is known as immune system, right? So every day we are exposed to a large number of infectious agents. Every day we are exposed to a large number of infectious agents. Okay, Vani, okay, I'll take that into consideration. And only a few of those exposures result in disease. Okay, so it's very important to remember that you do not fall sick every time you encounter a bacteria or a virus. Okay, there are multiple instances in a single day where you come across a lot of bacteria, viruses, and other organisms, but you do not fall sick. And that is because of your body's ability to defend itself, right? So this is due to the fact that the body is able to defend itself from most of these foreign agents. Obviously, this defense is not fail proof. You do get sick when your immune system is breached, but for the most part, it protects us from a lot of disease, and to some extent, we take it for granted, right? I don't know how many of you have ever met an immune suppressed person. So an immune suppressed person is that person whose immune system has been suppressed, right? Because of multiple reasons. So those reasons is something I'll be covering at later end of this topic. So if you ever meet them, they basically have to live inside a bubble. Okay, not a literal bubble, but a figurative one where, their room has to be extremely clean. Each and every part of their room should be sanitized, okay, frequently. They cannot go outside of their home also. Okay, so because their immune system is completely suppressed, and as a result of that, their immune system cannot even protect them from bacteria or viruses that our body normally does. And we take that for granted, but we should not, okay, because our body protects us from millions of bacteria and viruses without telling us and without even asking for a thanks from us. Okay, okay. Or you can, as Pritish is saying, you can look at old people also, right? Okay. So what is the definition of immunity? So this is obviously very important from your board's perspective. What is the definition of immunity? So the overall ability of the host to fight the disease causing organisms conferred by the immune system is called immunity. Is called what? Immunity. So the ability of your body to fight off infections or disease causing organisms by the help of immune system is known as immunity. Yes, Kirtan, that is a very good example. Is known as immunity. Okay? And there are two types of immunity. There is innate or natural or non-specific immunity, and then the other one that you have is acquired or adaptive immunity. Okay? So if they ask you a question, what is immunity? One more question aata hai board mein, so you can write immunity is the overall ability of the body to fight off disease causing organisms, okay, with the help of immune system. That is what immunity is. And there are two types of immunity. Obviously, there is sub classification of these immunities also, especially of acquired immunity. So there are two types of immunities: innate immunity and acquired immunity. I think the name is very self-evident. Just by looking at the name, you can tell. What are they and what function do they perform? But anyway, okay, I doubt I'll be able to finish my entire class today, but let's see. At least I'm hoping innate immunity to pura ho hi jaye, right? So let's talk about innate immunity. Okay, so what is innate immunity? Innate immunity is non-specific type of defense that is present at the time of birth. So it is non-specific. Non-specific ka matlab kya hai? What is the meaning of non-specific here? That means it is not disease specific. Matlab, tomorrow, let's say if you have a bacterial disease, it will not generate a different response. If tomorrow you have a viral disease, it will not generate a different response. It has a broader set of actions that will do, and it will do irrespective of which kind of disease that you have. So it is non-specific in nature. Okay, it does not have specific action. Ye disease aayega to I'll do this. If this disease come, I'll do this. It is very non-specific. These are my jobs that I'll do. Chahe chota disease hai, bada disease hai, I'll do this job. And it is present right from the birth. So that is innate immunity. That is innate immunity. Okay? And innate immunity is because of 4 types of barriers in your body. Is because of 4 types of barriers in your body. The 4 types of barriers that we have in our body in innate immunity are physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers, and cytokine barriers. So those are the 4 types of barriers that are responsible for innate immunity. Basically, we have like this 4-walled structure that ensures that bacteria, virus, or any pathogen has to pass through all these, okay, all these walls before it infects us. Okay, Dhanush, innate immunity is nothing but immunity that is present from the birth and which is non-specific. Khatam. Itna likh do. Okay, so it is because of 4 types of barriers: physical, physiological, cellular, and cytokine barriers. What are these barriers? Abhi dekhte hain. Okay, these, some of them you might already know, but some of them would be completely new. Okay, okay. Yahan tak sabko clear hai beta? Just give me a yes or no. Yahan tak sabko clear hai? Just give me a quick yes or no. Okay, is this clear to everybody? Can I move forward? Okay, okay, so I'll move forward then. Chalo yaar. Nobody has any doubt here, so let's move forward. So let's first talk about your physical barriers. Let's first talk about your physical barriers. Okay, so they are mechanical barriers to microbial pathogens. So physical barriers, kya? They're like literally like barriers. Okay, they're literally like barriers. They're stuff. Okay, they're stuff that protects you directly from microbe. Example kya hai beta? Examples are skin and mucous membrane. So skin is something that you can feel. So it's a mechanical barrier, right? You have your mucous membrane. So these are mechanical barriers. Your skin ensures that bacteria do not directly enter your body. Bacteria do not directly enter your body from your arms, legs, chest, stomach, back, whatever you want to consider, right? It has to go through specific openings like mouth, nose, eyes maybe, right? So skin ensures that the places from where your bacteria can enter your body are very limited in nature, So skin is one. Okay? So skin is physical barrier of body. It is its outer tough layer, the stratum corneum, prevents entry of bacteria and viruses. So the epidermis of the skin contains a layer which is known as stratum corneum. And stratum corneum ensures that the bacteria and the virus cannot directly penetrate into your skin, into your body. Okay, so the first example of physical barrier is your skin, and skin contains an outer layer of stratum corneum. Okay, it is present in your epidermis, and it ensures that the bacteria and the virus cannot directly pass through. Okay, cannot directly pass through into your body. If they have to go inside your body, you must eat them, or you must inhale them, or maybe you should put them in your eyes or something like that. Okay, so that is the role of skin. That is the role of skin in providing you immunity, in providing you innate immunity. Right? Skin is present on us right from birth. So right from birth, there are only very few places through which bacteria and virus can enter our body. The second one is mucous membrane, and we know that mucus is secreted by mucous membrane, and it is present in respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract maybe hota hai, and in urogenital tract. And what does it do? It traps the microorganism and immobilizes them. Imagine getting stuck in mud, ya daldal, right? I don't know what So daldal in English is called quicksand. I don't know what it's called in Kannada. Okay. Tausif, autoimmune diseases I'll be covering later. Once I've covered the entire immunity, then I'll be talking about autoimmune diseases. Okay. So, right, it's like getting stuck in quicksand or daldal, whatever you call in Kannada. I hope you can figure out. Okay. Otherwise, you can look it up. What is quicksand? Okay. So where you just keep on sinking, no matter how, the harder you try, the more you keep sinking, right? So the mucous membrane secretes mucus. The mucous membrane secretes mucus, and mucous membrane is present in your respiratory tract, your gastrointestinal tract, urogenital tract. Prajwal, urogenital tract means what? The tract that combines your urethra, that combines your urinary parts also, as well as your reproductive part, right? Urogenital. So your urethra region, that is what we are talking about, right? So the mucus, what it does is it traps the microorganisms and ensures that they cannot move very easily. Immobilizes का मतलब क्या होता है? To stop them. Mobile means what? To move. Immobile means something that cannot move. So those are your two physical barriers. Is physical barriers clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. Is physical barriers clear to everybody? Just give me a yes or no. Sabko samjha physical barriers? Okay. आगे बढ़े. Shall we move forward now? Sure. Let's move forward then. So that was your physical barriers. Now let's talk about physiological barriers. Kishore, you want me to explain the second point? But the second point kuch nahi hai. Second point is skin contains an outer layer of stratum corneum, which ensures that the bacteria cannot pass through. Okay, imagine this is your stratum corneum, and bacteria cannot pass through because it is impermeable to bacteria and virus. Bas itna sa. That is what the second point is. Okay. Now let's talk about your innate immunity in that physiological barriers. In that physiological, abhi humne kya padha? Physical barriers. They're like barriers that you can see, that you can feel, right? You can see the mucous membrane, you can see your skin, but then you have physiological barriers. So in physiological barriers, we talk about chemicals, right? So the body secretes certain chemicals which dispose of pathogens from the body, So physical barriers were about barriers that you can touch, feel, see. Physiological barriers are about chemicals. So your body produces chemicals which ensures that microorganisms cannot grow happily. Okay? So saliva, tears, and other bodily fluids contain lysozyme. Lysozyme yaad hai kya beta? Do you guys know what is lysozyme? At least students that I taught, I did mention lysozyme when I talked about plasma membrane. No, when I talked about actually cell wall. When I talked about cell wall. What is lysozyme? Lysozyme and lysosomes are different, beta. Lysosomes are your suicidal bags. Lysozyme. What is lysozyme? So lysozyme is an antibacterial agent which is present in your tears. It is present in your saliva, right? And what it does is it attacks bacteria and dissolves their cell walls. Can anybody tell me how does it dissolve the cell wall? What is bacterial cell wall made up of? Beta? What is bacterial cell wall made up of? So it is made of peptidoglycan. What is peptidoglycan made up of? So peptidoglycan is made up of NAG and NAM, right? There are alternating residues of NAG and NAM, right? Okay. Branching किससे होता है? NAG से या NAM से? Okay. Okay. So branching किससे होता है? NAG से और NAM से? Where does the branching take place? Through NAG or through NAM? So the branching takes place through NAG, right? So you have alternating residues are NAG and NAM, and the branching takes place through NAG. So what it does is it breaks off those cross branches between two layers of peptidoglycan. So that is how lysozyme breaks down the bacterial cell wall. It breaks off those cross links, right? So if you guys remember, so what it does is it breaks off those cross links between two layers of peptidoglycan. So lysozyme is present in your tears, it is present in your saliva. It is actually present in a lot of body fluids. And its function is to ensure that bacterial growth does not take place, right? So as you can see in the figure also, lysozyme weakens the bacterial cell wall, allowing it to rupture, killing the bacteria. So it breaks off the cross links between NAG and NAM. It breaks off the cross links between two peptidoglycan links. Okay. Then another example is HCl in the stomach also prevents microbial growth. HCl in the stomach also prevents microbial. So these are two examples. Or bhi hai. I just picked out two examples, okay, which are the most common ones. There are other examples also. In physiological barriers, we have lysozyme, which is present in your saliva, tears, and other body fluids. And what it does is it breaks down the cell wall of the bacteria. As a result of it, it ruptures. As a result of it, it ruptures. This is your bacteria dying here, unhappy while dying. And then there's HCl in your stomach, which ensures that it kills off bacteria that enter your stomach. Okay. So is physiological barrier clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. Is physiological barrier clear to everybody? Is physiological barrier clear to everybody? सबको समझा physiological barrier? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं then. Okay. So now let's move to the next one. The next one that we have is cellular barriers. The next one that we have is cellular barriers. So cellular barrier, as the name says, इसमें cells हैं. Physical is stuff that you can see, touch, feel. Physiological is chemicals. Then cellular barriers are cells. Cellular barriers are cells. So there are three cells. WBCs, that is leukocytes. So जहां पे भी leukocytes use करूंगा बेटा मतलब WBC है, confuse मत हो जाना, ठीक है? Then macrophages and natural killer cells. Macrophages, I think you guys have studied in your 7th chapter, 11th standard. I don't think natural killer cells you guys have learned. Okay, and so that is what these are the three cells that are involved in your cellular barriers, and all these cells can phagocytose and destroy microbes. So all these cells are capable of engulfing the microbe and phagocyting it, destroying it out of its existence. So let's look at these three cells in a bit more detail. Okay, WBCs and macrophages you guys have studied bit before. Okay, so I will not be going that much into detail. I'll be going through that bit fast. Natural killer cells, I'll go a bit slowly. Okay, so these are the three cells that are involved in your cellular barriers, that is your leukocytes or WBCs, macrophages, and natural killer cells. Okay, okay. Now let's first talk about phagocytic leukocytes. The phagocytic leukocytes are neutrophils and monocytes. अगर याद होगा 7th chapter अच्छे से or your body fluids and circulation, then in leukocytes the two that are phagocytic are neutrophils or monocytes. So neutrophils and monocytes are major phagocytic leukocytes. Okay, so neutrophils and monocytes are major phagocytic leukocytes. Phagocytic का मतलब क्या? They are capable of engulfing foreign body. Let's first talk about neutrophils. So neutrophils look like this. Sometimes in exam, instead of using neutrophils, they might give you, neutrophils are also called polymorphonuclear leukocytes. तो अगर कल को एग्जाम में PMNL आ गया, okay, boards में नहीं आएगा, but in NEET they might. You should know what are PMNL. PMNL are nothing but neutrophils. Why are they called polymorphonuclear? Poly means multiple. Poly means multiple. Okay, morpho means shape. Nuclear means nucleus. So as you can see that it has multi-lobed nucleus. As they have multi-lobed nucleus, that is why neutrophils are also called polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Yes, Pranav. Yes. Okay. So neutrophils are also called polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Okay, because their nucleus is multi-lobe. Beta Shashwat phagocytic. Beta, देखो, it's one thing for me to clear up your doubts, but it's another thing that you guys should know at base level. Phagocytosis is something that we start learning in 9th standard. Right? In 9th standard, we'll first learn phagocytosis. 10th में भी हम पढ़ते हैं when we talk about amoeba. Then in 11th, we also learn when we are learning about WBC. So I expect certain things from you. बता देता हूं, but do not expect this spoon feeding moving forward in the life. Not all teachers will be this supportive. Not all teachers will be this patient also. So phagocytic का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? When a cell is capable of engulfing other cell, that is phagocytic. I recommend that you explore certain things on your own also, right? Anyway, so neutrophils are also known as polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Polymorphonuclear leukocytes, okay? Because their nucleus are multi-lobed. They are short-lived and are highly motile phagocytic. Okay, they're very motile. They move through your body rapidly. Jahan jo milega, they keep on eating them. They keep on eating them, but they're short-lived. Their span is short-lived. They only remain in your body for few hours, and they are the most numerous of all leukocytes. This is something that you guys remember from your previous classes also. That is your 11th class. That neutrophils are the most numerous of all leukocytes, right? They encompass 60 to 65% of your WBCs or your leukocytes. So that is your neutrophils. Now let's go to monocytes. Monocytes are the largest of all types of leukocytes, right? Their size is the largest, and they are somewhat amoeboid in shape. That is, they do not have a definite shape. They can morph their shape accordingly. They are motile and phagocytic in nature, and they engulf bacteria and cellular debris. So cellular debris का मतलब क्या? Cellular debris का मतलब क्या? Yes, Anushri, right? So cellular debris का मतलब क्या? So debris मतलब क्या? Remaining portion of a building that has been broken down. So a cell that has been broken down, a cell that is dying. So the parts of the cells, that is known as cellular debris, right? Part of a dead cell, part of a damaged cell, those are known as cellular debris, right? So they are motile, they are phagocytic in nature, and they can engulf bacteria and cellular debris. They can cellular debris. Platelets, question mark, Pranav, I fail to understand. Okay? So their lifespan is about 10 to 20 hours, right? That is, then they're produced, they have 10 to 20 hours, and then they will die off. Where are WBCs produced? Prajwal beta, you should have told before. Yeah. Now I cannot go back. Prajwal, you should have told that before. Now I cannot go back here. This is something I need on the spot, because in books are free of it. Where are WBCs produced? No, Pranav, no. Who told you that here? Where are WBCs produced? Where are white blood cells produced? Okay. I see different answers. People are saying thymus. I see bone marrow. I see tonsils. भूल गए हो सब कुछ, कोई नहीं, पता करो, not telling. ठीक है? And generally they change into macrophages after entering tissue spaces. So what happens is, monocytes after a certain point of time, what they do is that they turn into macrophages by entering tissues. So once they are circulated through the body, kuch bhi mila khaya piya, then they enter your tissue spaces and they turn into macrophages. So your monocytes and neutrophils or polymorphonuclear leukocytes, okay, these are your two phagocytic leukocytes. So is the role of leukocytes in innate immunity clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. So monocytes or monocytes and neutrophils, are both of them clear to everybody? Yes, Pritish, I know. Right? Are both of them clear to everybody? Shall I move forward? So now let's move to macrophages. Okay? Now, macrophages are able to move outside of the vascular system by migrating through the walls of capillary vessels. What is this property known as? Kishore wants me to explain the last point again, but the last point kuch nahi hai. Once the monocytes enter into tissues, they turn into macrophages. वो macrophage में turn that is what the last point says, Kishore. Okay? Now, okay, so what is this property known as? That macrophages can move from out of the vascular system by squeezing through the capillary walls. What is that known as? That is known as diapedesis. That is known as what? Diapedesis. So macrophages show diapedesis. Okay, and what they do is, and they enter the area between cells in pursuit of invading pathogen. So जो तुम्हारा monocytes and neutrophils है, they are very good for if the pathogen is in your blood. But what if the pathogen is in your tissue? That is where macrophages comes in. Macrophage is like a police, which will not stop at any cost, which will stop at no cost to catch the thief. So it will enter your tissues also, if that is where your pathogen is present. Okay? So your macrophages are able to move out of the vascular system into tissue spaces if that is where your pathogen is present. Your neutrophils and monocytes cannot. They are very good at body, अगर तुम्हारे blood में कुछ है, they'll clear it off. But if your pathogen is in the tissue, then problem, right? So that is where your macrophages will come in. Now, in tissues, organ-specific macrophages are differentiated from the phagocytic cells present in the blood called monocytes. So this is the continuation of the last point of the previous slide. Okay? Last point of the previous slide. That is, monocytes give rise to macrophages. Monocytes give rise to macrophages. So as you can see in this figure also, monocytes give rise to macrophages. They also give rise to your dendritic cells. They also give rise to your dendritic cells. Okay? Anybody knows what are dendritic cells? What is their function? What is their function? Okay, anybody knows what are dendritic cells? What is their function? Dendritic cells yaad hai? Anybody knows what are dendritic cells? Anybody knows what are dendritic cells? Okay, dendritic cells are not the same as your dendrites. Okay, dendritic cells and dendrites are different. Okay, so basically, chalo ab dekho thoda advance hoga. This is something because from my experience. So dendritic cells are part of something known as antigen presenting cells. Abhi antigen presenting cells are also known as APC. And the function of antigen presenting cell is like a waiter, which brings the antigens to your क्या कहते हैं leukocytes, to your WBCs. कि ये देखो ये आया है बाहर से, इसका कुछ करो. So they are known, those are dendritic cells. Those are dendritic cells. They are not the same as dendrites. Dendrites are part of your nerves. Dendritic cells are known as antigen presenting cells. So these are dendritic cells. Okay, this will not be asked here. Antigen presenting cell तुम्हें जिंदगी में कभी कोई नहीं पूछेगा, unless you take bachelor's or master's in immunology. So dendritic cells, they are antigen presenting cells. They are antigen presenting cells. You can think of them as waiters. Okay, you can think of them as waiters. Okay, so they bring stuff to your WBCs. कि देखो जनाब ये बाहर से bacteria आया है. What should we do about this? Okay, they serve the bacteria to, or the virus or other antigens to your immune system. That I have found this, do something. I have found this, do something. Okay, so that is what antigen presenting cells are. Okay, I just wanted you guys to know. Anyway, nobody is going to ask you about this. Okay, so let's continue. So what happens is when your monocytes move into the tissues, they get converted into macrophages. Okay, and then macrophages are the most efficient phagocytes. तो अब तक हमने न्यूट्रोफिल पढ़ा, मोनोसाइट्स पढ़ा, बट उन सब में सबसे बढ़िया काम phagocytosis का करता है macrophages. Right? So macrophages are the most efficient phagocytes. Okay. So what separates macrophages from the previous two? Phagocytic cells, macrophages can invade the tissues also. Tissue में घुस के मारेगा वो, if that is where the pathogen is present. Okay. And we get macrophages from monocytes. Pritish, dendritic cell are nothing but antigen presenting cells. Their function is, yes Dhanush, their function is to present the antigen to WBCs. Okay, अभी तुम्हारे body में कोई antigen आया, they will catch it and they'll present to your WBCs. कि this is the antigen, what should we do of this? How do you want to handle this? ठीक है? Okay, beta Dhanush, these phagocytes, they kill foreign substances. They do not kill self cells. Cancer cells को नहीं खाते. ठीक है? Pritish, not carriers here. You cannot call them carriers. They're presenting antigen presenting cells. They're presenting the antigen to the cells who are going to deal with them. ठीक है? Anushri, off topic beta. Let me just complete the entire immunity topic. तब पूछना. No Tasif, no. Do not worry. ठीक है? Okay, chalo. Because Dhanush, for that you need to know something known as MHC, major histocompatibility complex, which you do not. And if I want to explain that to you, I need 2 hours of lecture. So that is why your monocytes, macrophages do not kill cancer cells. Okay, because there's something known as MHC complex 1, MHC complex 2, which are recognized by different cells, and then they take care of them. Okay, sure. Anyway, so the last one that is component of natural killer cell. The last one that is a component of natural killer cell is cellular barriers is your natural killer cells. Prajwal, they do not break beta, they turn into macrophages and dendritic cells. They do not break, टूटते नहीं है beta. But हमारा नहीं होता, they get converted. Okay. So what are natural killer cells? So they are component of innate immune system that does not directly attack invading microbes. So they do not directly kill the microbes. Natural killer cells do not directly kill the microbes. What they do is they destroy compromised host cells such as tumor cells or virus infected cells. So वो virus को नहीं मारेंगे, वो bacteria को नहीं मारेंगे. But if your cell gets compromised, तुम्हारे cell के अंदर virus घुस गया है, then they will go and kill off that cell. Then they will go kill off that cell. That is why they call natural killer cells. So they do not kill the microbes. They kill the cells they kill the cells that have been infected. They kill the cells that have been infected, right? So as you can see in the figure also, this is an infected cell in which virus is present. So when the virus will start replicating within the cell, it will express certain proteins. And what natural killer cell will do, it will recognize the protein and it will tell that cell, your time of death has come, go die. Okay? Tumor cell means what? Beta? Tumor cells mean cancer cells. Tumor cell means what? Cancer cells. So what do natural killer cells do? Natural killer cells do not kill the microbes directly. They kill the cells which have been compromised or which have been infected by the microbes. So that is why they're called natural killer cells. So they kill off your cancer cells, okay, and they kill off your virus infected cells. Okay. So is natural killer cell clear to everybody? Is natural killer cell? So actually the mechanism behind this is very fascinating. How do they kill off? How do they recognize that this cell has been infected and this cancer cell has been infected? And that is something that I did my study on. But I cannot go into the detail because it would take up a lot of time. I would have to compress my 2.5 months of internship into 10 minutes, which would be unfair. Okay. So people are now naturally asking, then why do we even get cancer? Beta, if your cancer is spreading way too rapidly, then they cannot do anything. Or uspe bhi, they cannot kill all type of tumor cells. Okay, the tumor cells have to express certain kind of proteins on the surface, by which they should be able to. So basically, I will tell you, no Veerbhadra, I cannot do that. Basically, I'll tell you, our body expresses certain proteins on the surface. Our cells express certain proteins on the surface. So if a cell is not expressing the protein on its surface, which belongs to us, or if a cell is expressing some other protein, which is not part of our body, then natural killer cell will go and kill it off. So if there's a tumor cell, which is expressing the same protein as your body, then natural killer cell is ineffective against it. Because natural killer cell it sees your identity card, right? If your identity card doesn't match with your body, then it will kill you off. But if a tumor cell is bringing the same identity card that your other body cells are carrying, then natural killer cells is ineffective. So it depends on multiple factors. I'm just telling you in very layman terms what it does is, it scans the surfaces of the cells. And ye dekhta hai, is it expressing something jo mujhe nahi pata? If it is expressing something, that will go and kill it off. Right? So in some cases, in some tumor cells, the outside protein that is being expressed, that changes slightly. So in that case, natural killer cell will go. But if your cancer cells are still expressing the same proteins that they were doing before, then it can do nothing. Yeah, then it can do nothing. Because wo aise nahi dekhta hai ki aur yahan pe cancer hai, I'll go and kill it off. It just sees, is the protein that is being expressed on the surface of the cell the same as the rest of the body? If it's not, time to kill it off. Okay? So is natural killer cell clear to everybody? Give me a yes or no, beta. Natural killer cell sabko samjha kya? What is internship? Beta, internship is a project that you do in summer to pass your time and to learn something. Okay? Aage badhe? Chalo yaar. Now the last part, okay, ye last part hai, I will not be doing adaptive immunity. That was part of the original lecture, but I won't be doing it. Last part of innate immunity, okay, okay. So last part of the innate immunity is cytokine barriers. So what are cytokine barriers? So cytokine barriers are chemical messengers. So physical barriers. So your physical barriers were literally mechanical barriers, things that you can feel, things that you can see. Then you had your physiological barriers. So in physiological barriers, okay. In physiological barriers, we talked about fluids. We talked about fluids like lysozymes, HCl. In your cellular barriers, we talked about cells. Your cytokine barriers are about messengers. Your cytokine barriers are chemical messengers. Now, what do cytokines do? What do cytokines do? So, पहले ये समझते हैं, what are cytokines? Cytokines are low molecular weight proteins that stimulate or inhibit the differentiation, proliferation, or function of immune cells. So cytokines क्या करते हैं बेटा? Cytokines signal to other WBCs, other immune cells, that you should start dividing rapidly. Infection आ रहा है, or you should turn into this type of WBC because we need this type of WBCs, right? So tomorrow I'll teach you. That is on Monday. I'll teach you B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, right? So whether you turn into B lymphocytes or T lymphocytes, B lymphocytes के भी further subcategories होते हैं, right? So which cell it has to turn into, वो signal भी cytokine देता है. So cytokines are proteins which are responsible for division of your WBCs. Do we need a lot of WBCs right now? What kind of WBCs need? Right, so it's like cytokine places an order. I need this WBCs, these types of WBCs, and this much number. Right, so that is what cytokines do. Examples of cytokines are interleukins, tumor necrosis factor, that is TNF, and interferons. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Interferons का example here. So what are interferons? So virus infected cells secrete proteins called interferons, which protect non-infected cells from further viral infection. So what are cytokines? Cytokines are special proteins that are responsible for your development of immune cells. What kind of immune cells you need, how much you need. Examples are interleukins, tumor necrosis factor, TNF, interferons. I took an example of interferons and बताया what do interferons do. Interferons are produced by virus infected cells और उनका function क्या होता है, जो अभी cells infect नहीं हुए हैं, to tell them to protect them from this virus coming to them. So that is how interferons work. ठीक है. अतः second point बस इतना बोल रहा है बेटा, cytokine tells the body what kind of WBCs are needed, how many are needed. ठीक है. Okay, so that is what your cytokine barriers are. Examples are interleukins, tumor necrosis factor, interferons. Obviously these are very advanced terms, stuff that you will be learning if you end up taking a master's or bachelor's in immunology. I just took a very simple example of interferons because that is the easiest one to understand. So interferons are virus infected cells, are chemicals secreted by virus infected cells, okay, which ensure that the cells that have not yet been infected by this virus do not get infected. Okay, so these are part of your innate immunity. So innate immunity क्या है? Innate immunity is the immunity present from birth and it is non-specific in nature. ये दो चीजें मेंशन करना बहुत जरूरी है. Present from birth, non-specific in nature. क्योंकि कल जब हम पढ़ेंगे, that is on Monday, acquired immunity वो specific है. ये immunity टाइफाइड के लिए, ये immunity virus के लिए. To be more specific, this immunity is for cholera. This immunity is for tuberculosis. So that is specific. जो हमने आज पढ़ा, that is not specific. सभी के लिए एक set of function है and we will do that. ठीक है? So is this clear to everybody here? Okay. So is the concept of innate immunity clear to everybody? Is the concept of innate immunity clear to everybody? Chalo, okay. So now you guys can drop off because you guys have already given me a feedback. So no reason to take feedback today. So thank you very much. Okay. So I hope that you guys like today's class. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's class. Most importantly, I hope that you guys learned in today's class. Thank you very much for your patience. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Till then, take care, guys. Bye-bye.